all-around art nerd. Here's some of my art. And this is where I'm from, Otatahi, Christchurch, on the South Island of New Zealand. In today's video, I'm going to be unboxing the July 2022 SketchBox. SketchBox is a monthly art subscription box shipping out of America all over the world, including to New Zealand. I'm going to be having a look at what's inside and seeing if it's worth it to get it shipped all the way here. Now, there's a few difficulties when you're in New Zealand. It's really expensive to buy them. You always have to pay a bit more for shipping and it takes quite a while to get here. But the cool thing is we often get supplies in these kinds of subscription box that we can't really find readily in stores here in New Zealand in the same way that you can overseas. I bought the SketchBox on the 17th of June, I think. It should be the July box. I believe it shipped on the 26th of June. It landed here at my doorstep 19 days later on, I believe, the 14th of July. This is what it looks like. I got the Premium SketchBox, which costs $35 American plus $15 postage, so $50 USD altogether. At the time I bought that, that was like $81 New Zealand and change, so pretty expensive. And this is what it looks like. It's quite a chunky box. There is a pencil for scale, quite big. It comes with some art on the outside. Otherwise, it is just a white packaged up box. I will say they shipped really quickly and the communication's been awesome. I've opened it to do immediately the same night that I came home to it because I'm dying to know what's in it. And so this is what it looks like when you open it up. So I'm seeing what looks like Gansai Tambe watercolor. So that is definitely, yep, that's a Japanese full pan watercolor. Let's have a look. So there's a flat shader brush, which is interesting. I don't paint with a lot of flat brushes with watercolor. I have no idea how to get it out of the package. It's interesting how much packaging a little brush comes in. Got all of that and the brush. And that looks like a beautiful brush. It's obviously a SketchBox signature, so that's their like home brand of brushes. It's got a really nice feel. It's quite chunky, wooden, and a nice matte finish. So that's that brush. I might move this back a little bit. So I found some paint, and I assume there's a few more in here. There is a pigment micron brush nib pen in a, who knows, it's in a grey. It's in quite a cool looking grey. There is some more paint, there is a Rembrandt SketchBox exclusive. It's like a postcard 4x6 size, cold press white 300 GSM Royal Talons watercolor paper. That's a nice thick paper, really nice size. It's had, I think, within the size of the box to fit in really good size surfaces, but I really like postcard sized anything. This is obviously their featured artist for the month, Nicole Shaver. Instagram is 56Miner. Part of the SketchBox team, which is cool, creates the educational content for each of our boxes and illustrates the monthly sticker. Ooh. A couple of water-soluble art graph pencils. They must have a 5mm, that must be the size of the nib, I guess. With the lead, I should say. And a 2B and a 6B, and they're water soluble, which is quite cool. What else is in here? There is so much of this paint, which is pretty exciting. There's also a wee sticker, which just has the watercolor paint in it, a bit like, I don't know, a bit like little chocolate pieces, and that's it. So that's the whole box. Now SketchBox, I believe, yeah, they do give you a little menu. It says Kuretake Gansai Tambai graphite pans. Graphite pans, ooh. So these are sort of like a water-soluble graphite, I guess. That is exciting. It goes really well with those pencils. So there are 5 colors in violet, green, red, brown and yellow. And they've worked with Kuretake on the formulations. Obviously I've had a chance to feed it back in. The flat shader brush makes a little bit more sense to me with it being graphite rather than watercolor per se, even though it's obviously a water soluble medium, so it's got that element of watercoloriness. And a dark grey micron brush is going to probably go really nicely with those. And the month's prompt is shade, which is pretty great. So this is what we've got. 5 of these Japanese full pans, which I always think, even though you do get more than a half pan, they still feel comparable to a half pan with me. I think maybe because it's a, their paints are really like delicious. And maybe I go through them further because there's more surface area to wet. The sticker's really cool. I usually just put those on my art journal. And then the 2 pencils, which I will open to show you. That is Frank the cat. So you'll probably be able to see from the top, but definitely from the bottom, the size of the graphite cores of these pencils are massive, which is kind of cool. I bet they do. So that's the 2B, really smooth, and the 6B, that 6B almost feels like charcoal. Frank! So I've got a little bit of water here, and I'm just going to use one of these sheets of paper to do a little bit of swatching. First with that 2B pencil from Super Light, trying to see how many layers I can build up. Frankie, please stop. Frankie, come on. So that was the 2B pencil. It works really well. 6B pencil. Burnishes beautifully. I mean, it's a nice, rich shading pencil. The brand that these were is Art Garage. Oh, that's pretty. So water is lifting the graphite. Gives you that beautiful pencil, dusty, inky, charcoal finish. Those are the 2 pencils. That Pigma Micron brush pen, really nice, fine, felty, brushy nib. It's quite a fine brush tip. And this color grey is beautiful. I quite like that they haven't given us any like true black stuff. Just think it's kind of a nice mix. Let's go through and just swatch these. So this was the graphite yellow. Looks really green, doesn't it? So let's paint a wee square. That is pretty. This next color is Graphite Violet. Oh, I love that. So getting 6 of these pans is pretty cool. Graphite Green is next. That greeny shade is called Graphite Yellow. this one looks to be much more blue in terms of the green colour. It's like a real mermaidy green. There's 5 of these. Graphite brown next. Another really rich shade. It's a beautiful mix of colours. I definitely vibe with these. And this last one was graphite red, which is not actually that similar to the brown. Nice. So that is all of those colours. I'll go back and add in the colour names when I can. I did want to quickly go back with a wet brush and see if these are re-wettable. Once I've put pigment down, can I disturb it again? And it definitely looks like you can. Bear in mind my water's like a touch dirty, so the red tone in that is actually from the paint. I wouldn't call it as instantly re-wettable as it is when you go in for the first time. So that's just something to bear in mind. It is kind of nice that it has that slight setting effect once you paint it. And what about for these? Yeah, definitely some. This paper, because it is not a cotton paper, you can definitely see when I'm working the pigment on it a little bit, it's fuzzing up. Just something to be aware of, especially if you are wanting to move around more dry pigment. You're going to need to work it in a bit. And obviously it's just, it's not like watercolor. It does have more of a setting thing. So there you go. That is the July SketchBox ingredients. You got your 5 full pan, let's go back from here, the 5 full pan Kuretake paints in graphite formulation. It doesn't say heaps about them, but it does say, what does it say, graphite pans. It comes with a flat shader brush, which is a really beautiful brush. I like the way it works. You can get really fine detail. Really happy with the brush. It's also not something I have a really good brush of, so it's great. And I don't think I did the number, it's a number 4. This pen, which I really like, but it's not the most exciting thing in the box. Love getting it. Don't have this colour in a brush nib, so that's exciting. And those 2 art graph pencils. Thing I am most excited about in this box is probably the paint. All of the graphite products actually. The thing I'm least excited about is the paper. Oh, interesting, it is 100% cotton. Curious. So I'll just correct myself there. It does say here, not on the packet, but here, it said on the back. Nowhere on this packet does it say it's 100% cotton that I can see. I didn't think you say, that's cool. Here, it says this 100% cotton paper, so it must be cotton. I don't know why I'm having trouble with it getting a little bit pulpy. Yeah, it's nice paper, but it definitely, I guess it's also just a different brand than what I'm used to working with, and I was scrubbing around a lot. But retail price for this is $12.95. Retail price for the pen is $3.13. Retail price for the pencils is $5.56 for the set. The brush, RRP of $9, and the paints themselves $16.65. That's all in US dollars. So adding that up together, it is saying, let me try to do the math. It's roughly $47 US dollars worth of product, bearing in mind I paid $50 US dollars for it, and about 81 New Zealand dollars. I will do a second part of this video where I paint something, and I'll cut it to the end of this one, and I'll talk a little bit more about the prices compared to how much you would pay for each of these things here in New Zealand. I will say off the bat, I really like the curation of the selection. There's really different stuff that's not duplicating things I already have in my collection, which is cool. There was a bit of me that was a little bit scared ordering and trying a few different subscription boxes that I might get stuff that I already had that was duplications, or stuff that I just wasn't interested in, and that might be the case sometimes with art subscription boxes. But if you're open to new mediums, you might get lucky in that everything you get you either are interested in and love. In this case, this is something I'm interested in and really excited by. I like the color palette, it suits me well, and I think there's a lot of really exciting application options. So next time you see me, I will be cutting back to doing a wee painting using these. Obviously the code for this month's prompt, the prompt for this month is shade, and I guess it's just thinking about what that might be. Okay, so this is a time lapse of me creating my artwork for this. I drew a little tui, a native bird from New Zealand, and I was really happy with how it came out. Let's talk about the cost of this box. So the cost of the box, if you're buying it from New Zealand, was 50 American dollars, which equates to about 81 New Zealand dollars at the time that I bought it. I went online to try to find the exact art supplies, and if I bought the exact art supplies, because most of them are not able to be sourced in New Zealand, at least at the moment, it would have costed at least 130 New Zealand dollars, including shipping. And so you can obviously see that for these exact supplies, the box is really worth it. You save about $50. I will say, if I wanted to buy these same supplies and I didn't care about getting the exact match, I could get a really comprehensive set including 12 paint pans in the Graphitint Derwent series, and that would come to about $70 including shipping. Also with cotton postcards, a flat shader brush, and 2 water-soluble graphite pencils, as well as a pigment ink grey brush pen. Part of what you're paying for with a box like this is that you're having curated supplies by people who are giving you something that might be quite a new medium, and it's thoughtfully put together so that you've got all of the things you might need to really experiment and enjoy that medium. Overall, I do think it's a good investment if you've got the money, but more as like a treat to yourself. If you're really interested in playing with new art supplies and you have the disposable income to do that, then this would be a great option for you. You could get it monthly. They do also have other versions of the box, including one that is cheaper, so bear that in mind, although shipping is still going to be a little bit more spendy than if you're buying them from somewhere in New Zealand or even Australia. I really like this medium and I enjoyed this box. I definitely wouldn't rule SketchBox out as an option, but for me it's something that's financially affordable every now and then, maybe once a year, but probably not something that's a sustainable purchase every month. Since I put out this video, I saw that SketchBox had a number of grab bags, mystery discounted bags available on their website, so I did also order a couple of those, and I'll share what I got in those. This year I also ordered a couple of different subscription boxes, and I'm going to do a series of videos looking at which is the best value if you're based in New Zealand. That's it from me. Thanks so much for watching. Did you get the SketchBox? Are you in New Zealand? Have you tried art subscription boxes? Do you have a favourite? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you want to check out any of my art, my websites, my social media, they're all linked in the description. I teach regular free online Facebook art classes via Facebook Live, usually once to twice per month, and you'll be able to find out more about that on my Facebook page. Otherwise, that's it from me. Bye for now.